Hello, I'm Alexis Leonard, and this is the negotiations workshop presented by the A-State Scarlet to Black team. We'll be going over how to negotiate and make counteroffers when receiving a job offer. Let's get started. So, prior to receiving an offer, you probably went through an interview process. Before you even start your interview, you should really familiarize yourself with the company and industry you are going to apply for because you don't want to be a part of a company that you don't really know anything about. Maybe they've had some history of misconduct that you didn't know about, and then you get hired and you're in this situation, and you should really research what you're doing, see if the company is in good standing, anything it's about that you might not know. A lot of companies do more than, just one set thing, so it's really good to familiarize yourself with everything that they do. And if you're applying for an industry you've never worked in before, you should really familiarize yourself with that as well because you don't want to be unprepared for anything. Also, be aware of new ideas around the place that you are looking at. Maybe a set place that doesn't have a big company behind them. They're, mom and pop shop or anything like that. Even there, you need to know what the news has said about them before or what ideas that they encapsulate as a store company, anything like that. You also don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, of course. You should always have multiple options. Even if it's your dream job and you really think that you're going to get the offer, you shouldn't just wait for them. You should always have your options open because maybe your dream job isn't the job that you think it is, or maybe you get an offer for something better, but you won't ever know if you don't apply for more than one place. Also, you should know what you are applying for. A lot of people get an idea of a job that they think they're going to like, and then they get there and they don't like it. So really research and know what you are looking at, what you are applying for, be clear, and always in the interview ask what, you're expected to do. Don't be blindsided by something that you could have prevented. Okay, and then after you receive the job offer, a lot of people think that they need to just say yes or no straight away. That's not the case. You can always say, I need time to think about it, think it over. They're gonna wait for you as long as they want. Well, they want to, but they shouldn't just expect you to say yes or no on the spot. You need to be able to have your options open, like we said, and you need time to think it over and think if it's the best choice for you. Maybe it's a relocation, you have to move, or it's like a job in new hours, you have to get your kids in daycare or something like that. You need time to think everything over and make sure it's the best fit for you. Also, don't always accept the first one that comes your way. You need to keep your options open, and the first one might not be the best one. It could be, but always keep your options open in case it isn't. And when you get a job offer, a lot of people only look at the money. Job offers also include packages, retirement packages, health plans, everything like that, and that goes into the overall, wealth of your package. It doesn't just have to include your um, annual sum or anything like that. And there are a lot of factors that go into a job offer, and be aware of everything that they're offering you before you say yes or no. And if you need to ask for advice, there's always people around you that have went through a similar process. Don't be afraid to ask professors or, family members or friends because maybe this is your first time receiving a job offer and you really don't know what to do. Just ask them if they think that it's a good offer, if it's a bad one, or that it's right for you, or anything like that. I'm sure that they're just wanting to help you the best that they can. Now, on to negotiating your salary. A lot of people think that if you ask about, a salary increase before you even start, that they will take the job offer away. And normally that's not the case. They shouldn't do that. Everything is on the table, and if they don't like what you're asking for, they can always say no about that. But they shouldn't take what they originally came to you with away. And if they do, then that company's probably not the greatest for you anyway, if they're immediately on the defense and not wanting to participate in a conversation with you. It's not even you demanding or anything like that, it's just immediate no's, then that's probably not the best fit for you anyway. But you should always have a minimal acceptable salary for yourself. If a company comes with you with a $20,000, package or anything like that, you probably don't want that if you have, you know, things that you need to pay for that cost more than that yearly. So a lot of people have a minimum that they find themselves, and if the job offer offers lower than that, then you ask for the minimum. And then if they still won't meet that, then still maybe that offer's not the best for you because another one might come your way that's more or at your minimum that, you could see yourself living comfortably with. Also, always research your starting salaries of your field because you shouldn't be asking for way too much than a starting position if that's what you're coming in as a starter and not someone who has more experience in the field. You can't ask for 80K a year if you have no, work experience unless the job is just offering you that anyway. Then, I mean, that's great. That's on you to look at the packages and see if it fits with you or not. But also keep your needs in mind. If you have children or you pay your own rent, like you don't work on or yeah, you don't live on campus or you don't live with your parents, and or they're gonna ask you to move and you have to buy a new apartment or a new house and you have to look at that. You have to keep your needs in mind. How much do you spend a month? Are you going to be spending more a month because of the new job? Are you going to be spending less? Just keep everything that you need in mind to begin with. We're actually going to look at a couple sites to see what they say about negotiations and things like that. So the first one is how to determine your counteroffer when negotiating starting salary. This is from fearlessSalaryNegotiation.com. It's just a really nice article that tells you, as I mentioned, if they offer um, your least minimum acceptable salary, there's much that you can go into. It says right here, as you can see, between 10% and 20% above their initial offer. On the low end, 10% is enough to make a counter worthwhile. So you don't want to be asking for like a 50% negotiation, raise per se. You want to keep it 10 to 20, more on the 10 side because you don't want to seem like you're asking for too much because that is a problem. People asking for too much, they think that they're worth too much. And not to say that anyone is worth less than they think they are, but you can't assume that you're going to come into a field with no experience or very little experience and be making more than other starters. So, as you can see here, he has an example. Say your minimum acceptable salary is 50K, and the company offered you 55,000. They met your minimum, so now you need to determine if you like this offer. You get an extra 5, which means that you can counter up to 15 above their offer. In this case, 15% of 55 is 80 or 8,200. And so then you can ask for about this much, and if you round up and everything, and see what they say. And that's if they're above your minimum. This is for if it's below your minimum. So he has a couple scenarios down here, as you can see. 45, they offer you 15% of that, and you add it to 51. You can round it up to 52. So that's above your minimum acceptance rate of 50,000, as you can see up there, and you countered the amount to be a little bit more. Here's another one. Let's say they offer 40, 15% of 40 is 6,000, which means the offer would be 46. That's below your minimum acceptable salary, so you would not counter that amount. Instead, you would say something along the lines, I'm sorry, but I can't accept less than 50,000 for this job. And they could say thank you for your time and, not offer you the salary that you're wanting, and you two could be on your way, or they could be like, okay, we will offer you 50. But it's just all up to you and the negotiations, and you have to take part of it and be interested and cordial and not demanding. If you're demanding $50,000, why would they hire you if you're going to demand, so soon into even becoming a prospect of their company? So with this site, we talked about a little bit starting salaries. So this is browse average salaries for entry-level jobs. So we're just going to choose an industry. There's a lot of things you can do. Then we're going to do business services. Then we're going to scroll down. And you can see that they have, collection clerk, collection support, past due collection specialist. We're just going to click on this first one and click view. And this is the average in the United States. How much can I make? As of April 27th, 2020, so very, very new. The range typically falls between 33,000 and about 44,000. So it varies widely depending on many important factors, your education certificates, additional skills, number of years you've been in, all that. If you scroll down, this site has very helpful like graphs and stuff. There's a lot of things you can check out here. You have your salary paid annually. You can view it as a table. You can search down here, where you live or around where you live. If you click on these other ones, it has, it says salary plus bonus, and I think it pulls up a chart that you can see. It'll load. But it also has benefits and everything like that. Yeah, you see it has that graph again. And you can talk about salary increase, and then it'll give you an expectations, if your locations, years, everything like that. If you put all this information in, it'll give you like an expected salary and bonuses and everything like that. And it also has up here job information. You can compare this job to different jobs, similar jobs, if this job has a particular opening anywhere. It'll even critique your resume. I think this is a really great site for looking at a lot of fields, but even just this one credit and collections clerk one entry level, it offers a lot of information. So just a quick wrap up. We're going to do the do's and don'ts, just the barest minimum do's and don'ts of negotiating your salary. So you should always stay firm in your minimum. You don't want to take a job that is lower than your minimum and you honestly can't make a living wage for yourself, for anyone else you support, for your house. You need to have a minimum salary that you can live off comfortably. But you also need to know your worth and needs. So, if you know that you're capable of making $50,000 a year and they're giving you a $28,000 offer, you should probably just turn it down because they probably won't be offering your minimum, and you know that you're better than that. So keep up with what you need. Always, always just ask for more than you want, because if you just stick with what they originally gave you, then you're not opening it up for negotiations and you can't possibly get more. It's not a guarantee that if you ask for more that you're going to get more, but it could be likely, and you could be getting a couple thousand more a year just simply because you asked. It doesn't hurt to ask. The worst I can say is no. And as I've said, they shouldn't take away your offer just because you're asking for more. And if they do, that company's probably not right for you anyway. In your negotiation, it's a two-person, partnership. So listen to the other person. There's a lot that they have to say. There's a lot that they know that you probably don't at the moment. So don't just make it a one-sided conversation. Always listen to what they're saying and, talk about it. Don't just demand. Don't just get offended. They're doing the best they can to help you and get you into the position that helps you the most. But also be open to saying no to the offer. Just because you get a job offer does not mean you have to say yes. It does not mean that this is the only job offer you're going to get. You can say no. And even if this is the only job offer you get at the moment, still say no if you do not think it's the right fit. You do not want to be in a position where you're in a job that you do not like. It does not pay you well enough. The conditions are not good. It is not the job that you thought it was. Say no if you do not feel good about it. But always keep negotiations open. Keep negotiating. Just keep talking until you finally realize this is what you want or this is what you don't want. On to the don'ts. I've said it a couple times, but do not make demands. No one likes a person that demands money. No one likes a person that demands really anything. Offer counter offers instead. We talked about, calculating your counter offers. Kind of complicated, but honestly, just counter offer. Don't be like, I will not take this job unless you give me X amount. Be like, I would really appreciate it. I would really be more willing to accept this job if I had X amount on the table instead of this. You know, keep the conversation going. Also, don't get emotional. A lot of people seem to think like the negotiator is being mean to me because they won't give me the money I need. The negotiator is being mean to me because they don't like me. That's not how it is. Some jobs just aren't meant to be. They can't offer you the money that you need. That's okay. Someone else will take the job. You will find a better job. Don't get mad. Don't get sad. Don't be mean to your negotiator. Just say no and move on. But as I always, don't ask for too much. It is possible to ask for too much. You shouldn't be asking for really more than 20%, as the site said, than your minimum amount, because honestly, that just seems like you're kind of money hungry and that you don't really want the job. You just want someone to offer you a salary more than you are worth. To be honest, not everyone in the world can make $200,000, and certainly not everyone in the world can start out making, you know, more than like 50K a year, upwards to 80. You're not going to get where you want to be immediately. You have to work at it. Also, don't talk about your current job or salary. Some people think like, oh, well, I'm already making X amount, so you should give me this other X amount. That's not true. That kind of seems conceited. Like, why are you talking about a job that you're at so highly if you're looking for a new job? It's just kind of petty, and it doesn't really look good to your negotiator. That kind of goes along with don't act entitled or don't make demands. It's just be a regular person. Don't act like you're better than anyone else. And don't over leverage yourself. Don't say like, oh, I had a 4.0 in high school and I had a 4.0 in college, so that makes me better. That's not necessarily true. I'm sure plenty of the things that you've done are great and you do have skills that maybe other people don't possess, but there are plenty of people that can work at the same job, and you just realize that, be humble, and you know just be nice about it, honestly. Here are some websites. We're going to go through two more very quickly. It's just a couple extra points. You guys can read the articles on your own. This is how to negotiate, accept, and decline a job offer. It's on careers, thebalancecareers.com. It just consider the benefits, entire compensation package, not just salary. I said that. And lots of other things. You can read the article. It's got really notes and everything. And then this one is how to negotiate salaries, 37 steps that you need to know. And this one has just a lot of things. I covered a couple of them. Know your value, talk to recruiters. It has sections. So this first section is about prior, and then you start the conversation. It says like, this is for the interview, feel good, drink some coffee, everything like that. And then down here, you get the asking for the money and counter offers and everything. Don't use a range. Be kind but firm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Be kind but firm. You know your worth, but be nice about it and don't just, go off the rails about everything. But that's about it for this presentation. It's a little long, but I hope that's okay. This last slide we have, please follow us. Our Facebook is Scarlet to Black, or / Scarlet to Black. Instagram is at astate_S2B. Same for Twitter. And please take our survey, surveymonkey.com/r/S2B negotiate. This has been fun. My name is Alexis Leonard, and I hope to see everyone in the next year. Thank you.